Tanks rolling across fields. Artillery thunder shaking villages. Drones buzzing overhead at dawn. Missile plumes piercing the sky. Armored columns clanking through mud. This is every major Russian weapon used in the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, and the surprising impacts each one had on the battlefield. From the steel giants on land to lethal systems in the air, we're covering them all. Let's start with the tanks that led the ground assault. Starting with main battle tanks. T-90 main battle tank. Modern Russian armor with composite protection and reactive panels. It led many armored thrusts into Ukrainian territory. Speed and firepower made it a core assault vehicle. T-80 main battle tank. Known for its gas turbine engine. Lighter and faster than many counterparts. But the turbine consumed massive amounts of fuel, creating supply vulnerabilities. T-72 main battle tank. Older but numerous. The most widely deployed Russian tank. It lacked the advanced protection of newer tanks, making it vulnerable to long-range anti-tank weapons. Over 1,200 T-72s were destroyed in the first year alone. Now, artillery and rocket systems. BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launcher. The workhorse system. 40 tubes firing 122mm rockets. Maximum range of 20 kilometers. Quick reload made it a staple of bombardments. BM-27 Uragan multiple rocket launcher. Heavier firepower. 16 tubes firing 220mm rockets. Range of 35 to 40 kilometers. BM-30 Smerch multiple rocket launcher. The heaviest system. 12 tubes firing massive 300mm rockets. Range up to 90 kilometers. Designed to destroy entire grid squares. TOS-1A heavy flamethrower system. Mounted on T-72 tank chassis. 24 Thermobaric rockets. It drove defenders from cover with flame, shock, and overpressure. Devastating in urban combat. Artillery and rockets were the steel thunder behind offensives. They broke lines and forced troops to seek any solid cover. Now, air defense and surveillance. S-400 Triumph. Surface-to-air missile system. Long-range radar-guided missiles. Designed to track and destroy aircraft and missiles at ranges up to 250 kilometers and altitudes up to 30 kilometers. It created threat zones where enemy aircraft couldn't operate freely. Also used to strike ground targets when precision missile stocks ran low. Panzer S-1 air defense system. Mobile radar and missile units on 8x8 wheel chassis. Short to medium range defense. 20-kilometer missile range against aircraft and drones. Twin 30mm autocannons for close-in defense. Spotted around major cities, supply depots, and protecting larger S-400 systems. Orlan-10 unmanned aerial vehicle. Russian reconnaissance drone. Small, propeller-driven. It scouted ahead of ground units. It spotted targets for artillery and watched enemy movements. These systems shaped the battlefield by protecting forces and spotting moves before they happened. Not offensive firepower, but battlefield control. Moving to infantry weapons. AK-74 assault rifle. The standard rifle carried by most Russian infantry. Fires 5.45 by 39mm rounds. Reliable under rough conditions. Simple, rugged, and abundant. AK-12 assault rifle. The newest Russian rifle. Modernized fire control and improved ergonomics. First saw large-scale combat use in Ukraine. PKP Pecheneg machine gun. Belt-fed automatic weapon. Fires 7.62 by 54mm rounds. Sustained fire support for infantry squads. It suppressed enemy positions during advances. SVD Dragunov sniper rifle. Long-range precision. Semi-automatic. Effective range beyond 800 meters. Used by marksmen to cover advances and pick high-value targets. RPG-7 rocket-propelled grenade. Shoulder-fired anti-tank weapon. Effective against armor and fortifications. Simple, deadly, and carried by nearly every infantry unit. Infantry weapons gave foot soldiers reach and suppression to support larger maneuvers. Now, aircraft systems. Su-30SM multi-role fighter. Twin-engine aircraft. Air superiority and ground attack capabilities. carried air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles. Su-25 Frogfoot attack aircraft. Rugged ground attack plane. Armor-plated cockpit. It flew low to deliver rockets and bombs against ground targets. Su-34 fullback fighter bomber. Twin-seat strike aircraft. Carried precision-guided and unguided bombs. Used for deep strikes against infrastructure and military targets. Mi-24 Hind helicopter gunship. Transport helicopter with mounted weapons. Armed with rockets, missiles, and guns. It suppressed enemy forces during advances. Ka-52 Alligator attack helicopter. Twin-rotor design. Armed with anti-tank missiles, rockets, and 30mm cannon. Used extensively for reconnaissance and close air support. Aircraft systems gave firepower and visibility from above, shaping battles across wide areas. Now, drones and unmanned weapons. For post-unmanned aerial vehicle. Medium-altitude reconnaissance drone. License-produced version of Israeli design. Carried cameras and sensors. It watched wide areas and relayed visuals back to operators. Information as valuable as artillery fire. Lancet loitering munition. Small flying system that could loiter over an area and then strike a target directly. It hit vehicles, artillery, and infrastructure with precision. Silent approach gave defenders little warning. Proved highly effective against Ukrainian armor and air defense systems. Shahid 136 strike drone. Iranian-designed kamikaze drone. Slow-moving but long-range. Used in massive swarms to overwhelm air defenses. Thousands were launched throughout the war. Cheap to produce but forced Ukraine to expend expensive interceptor missiles. Orion strike drone. Russian-made armed UAV. Medium altitude, long endurance. Carried guided munitions for precision strikes. Used for reconnaissance and targeted attacks on high-value targets. Here's what changed everything. Both sides quickly learned that drones were both eyes and targets. Reconnaissance drones spotted enemy positions. Loitering munitions struck with precision. Counter-drones and electronic warfare took them down. That constant battle marked a new era where unmanned platforms changed how battles were fought day and night. Now, missiles and long-range strike systems. KH-101 air-launched cruise missile. Carried by strategic bombers. Stealth characteristics. Range over 5,000 kilometers. Used in strikes on critical infrastructure. KH-22 anti-ship missile. Large Soviet-era missile adapted for land strikes. Massive 1,000-kilogram warhead. Inaccurate but destructive. These systems were strategic. They struck not just at soldiers, but at the structures that kept armies moving. Support equipment and systems. Electronic warfare systems. Russia deployed Krasuka, Moskva, and other jamming systems. They disrupted GPS, communications, and drone operations. Created electronic dead zones where Ukrainian systems couldn't function. From main battle tanks rolling across plains to drones buzzing at dawn above battlefields. From artillery thunder to missiles striking deep behind enemy lines. From electronic warfare to air defense networks. Every major Russian weapon used in the invasion of Ukraine shaped the war in its own way. If you want more breakdowns like this, fast, clear, and packed with facts, hit subscribe and tell us in the comments. Which Russian weapon surprised you the most?